When you're in a relationship and your significant other says, why don't you ever? Why can't you? That person's crying out. Listen to me. Hear what I'm trying to tell you, because you're going to lose me.
I kinda like you.
Hey everybody, Stephen Bastian with The Relationship Life. Today we're going to talk about loss. Now, I'm not going to really talk or touch too much on loss by death. That's a whole different thing. And the difference is basically when you lose someone to death. They're gone. They're gone. You process that loss over time. You move on. It gets easier because, they're not coming back. Losing someone in a relationship, whether it's a marriage or boyfriend-girlfriend situation or someone you liked and they didn't like you back or even a friendship, that loss may or may not be permanent. That person may come back one day. You still see their Facebook page. They, unless you blocked each other. If you blocked each other, that's a different story. You're that done. But even that, they can come back. I had a friend of mine that we ended our friendship, and I thought it was over. I thought, okay, that friendship's over, moving on. And I processed the loss, and we're going to get into that process. But I processed the loss, and lo and behold, 3 weeks later, I get a friend request from her. She had blocked me, like we were done. And 3 weeks later, I get a friendship request from her. And I messaged her, and I said, is this a mistake? Is this accidental? And she texted back, no, I want to be friends. And we were right back in it again. So that kind of loss, when you lose a relationship, like I said, whether it's a marriage or a friendship, may or may not be permanent. It's almost like if someone died and their ghost haunted you all the time. Believe it or not, it's actually harder to deal with. Because you still have to, especially if you're in a marriage and you have kids, you still have to interact with your ex. And I honestly believe, and I think I've said this before, and if I haven't, I'm going to say it now. If you're in that situation and you have an ex, you end a marriage, you separate, you're done, you say we're done, and you walk away from the marriage, and you have kids. And I've talked about how that person wants to be super dad all of a sudden. You need to be able to be strong enough to give yourself time and space, like we talked about yesterday. You need to be able to distance yourself from that relationship as much as humanly possible. I mean, you don't want to say you're the woman, you don't want to keep him away from the kids altogether. That's messed up. But you need a healing process. The kids have to get used to the fact that daddy's not going to be around as much anymore. That daddy's going to go live his own life. They need to process that. You need to process that. So you need to have time and space to go through the 5 stages of grief, deal with it, get past it, reach acceptance, and move on. Before you're ever going to be able to have any kind of co-parenting relationship with them, because otherwise you're in each other's faces all the time, and it's as if you never separated. You might as well not. You might as well stay together. I mean, for all intents and purposes, what are you doing? What's your end game? I know you want to co-parent. I know you want that person in your life, but at what cost? You're never going to move past it until you move past it. And you need space and perspective to do that. But here's the thing. When a relationship ends, whether you have kids or not, it's going to take you time to heal. You need to walk away, be done, and heal. Now, it's hard in a situation. I had a friend of mine who was in a situation where he loved this girl, and she didn't love him back. She wasn't ready for a relationship. She wasn't interested in him on that level. She basically friend-zoned him. And she told him one day, look, I want to be your friend. I want to be your best friend. I'm closer to you than anyone else. But I don't see you that way. I want you to get over me and move on. She said, I'm going to give you some time to do that. In that situation, you don't need to end the friendship. You just need to cut off the feelings. And that's something you're going to have to deal with on your own. That person can't help you. But you can still maintain the friendship. It all depends on how fast you process. Some people are able to get over things quick. Now, let me tell you something about that. And this one's for the guys. Okay, guys, listen up. Ladies, go check your Facebook page. Check your messages. I'm going to talk to the guys for a minute. If you're in a relationship, let's say you're living with someone or you're married. I mean, it's a serious relationship. I'm not talking about something new. Okay? It can apply to a friendship, but this is more about a relationship. You're in a long-term relationship with someone, like I said, whether you're living together or you're married. Or you're just exclusively dating and you see each other all the time. Guys, when she comes to you and says she's done, it's over, it was over a long time ago. Women have the uncanny ability to end a relationship before it ever ends. Hang on, let me turn off my air conditioner. Women have the uncanny ability to end a relationship long before it ever ends. She's already made her arrangements for the aftermath. She's already talking to other guys or dealing with other people, or she's talked to all of her friends and close friends that you don't even know she has. She may even have a guy waiting, ready to go. You know, a new relationship on the back burner, simmering, just sitting back there cooking. When she comes to you, that's why I know it confuses us guys, and it's confused me. Like, we're doing great. I think everything's okay. And then all of a sudden, I wake up one morning and she sits down with me and says, we need to talk. I'm like, what about, baby? I'm not happy, and I'm done. This is over. And she walks away. And you're like, how the hell could she get over me that fast? Like, what? She went to bed last night, woke up this morning, decided she was done? No, sir. She decided she was done 6 months ago. You messed up because you didn't see the signs. They always give you signs. They give you little hints, little things that they say to you throughout the course of that 2, 3, 6 months, whatever, however long it takes her to process it. She's already processed it. She knows exactly what she's going to do, how she's going to do it, and where she's going to go from here. She's done. And by then, it's too late. You can't talk her out of it. You can't negotiate. Baby, I'll change. I'll do better. She's already done. She's already moved on. She's already moved on. She's got a guy probably that she's going to be seeing within the next few weeks, if not sooner. I've heard of women that the next day, and the guy's like, oh, she's been cheating on me the whole time. I knew it. No, she wasn't. She actually probably 99. There are exceptions to that rule, of course. There are women that will hook up with a guy and she's already banging him long before the relationship's end, because in her heart, the relationship was over in February and it's now August. You know what I'm saying? September. She's already done. She's not cheating on you. She ended the relationship in February. You just didn't know it. you just didn't know it. That's... Whew. Been there. She didn't cheat on you. She was already done in her head, in her heart. She was done. She just didn't tell you. But that's, there are exceptions to every rule. There are women that, like I said, the guys will be like, oh, she was cheating on me the whole time. No, she probably wasn't. She had this guy on the back burner. She was friends with him. She was talking to him. He was saying all the right things. He was probably sabotaging you, undermining you. Classic move by the other guy that's interested. He's interested in her. You think he's going to be like, no, baby, you should work on your marriage. And he may say that. But in the back of his mind, he's going, I just got to wait. And he'll, when she comes to him, he's being unreasonable. He's not listening to me. He's not giving me the attention. He may not necessarily boldly outright say, well, then he's a son of a, you know what I'm saying? He may go, that sucks. I would never do that to you. Planting that thought. I would never be like that. And he may be, listen, it's not game. He's serious. Like, that dude is like, I want to be with you. I would never treat you the way he's treating you. And means it. And she feels that. She's already done. And we guys are like, how did she get over me so fast? She must have never loved me. Yeah, she did once. She's already moved on. We guys don't take hints very well. And that's good and bad. And the bad part of that is, if we do get the hint, let's say in February she starts talking to this dude, or she starts thinking about her exit plan, and she's like, I don't know if I want to be in this relationship anymore. So she, because she wants to be with you at first. Until she's done, she's trying to save it. So she's going to try to save it. She's going to say, look, we need to work on our relationship. She's going to give you little hints. Why don't you listen to me? Why aren't you romantic anymore? Why don't you make out with me anymore? Why don't you kiss me like you used to? She's crying out to you. Pay attention to me. Fix this before it's too late, because I'm on my way out the door. We're just too oblivious. Us, we guys, we've got real life going on. We've got work. We've got this. We've got that. We've got all this other stuff and friends, and we're oblivious. We blow it off. She's just being bitchy. She's not being bitchy, guys. She's trying to tell you something. And we don't get the hint. We don't get the hint. When you're in a relationship and your significant other says, why don't you ever? Why can't you? That person's crying out. Listen to me. Hear what I'm trying to tell you. Because you're going to lose me. And when you do, it's over. We don't get it. And by the time we do, it's usually too late. Because if you're married or you're in a long-term relationship, odds are you've been down this road before. She may even go as far in the past. I know many, many people that are married that ended their relationship, and I said, well, when did you know it ended? And she's like, years ago. And I'm like, what, years ago? Why did you wait so long to end it? She's like, well, we did. I mean, we would take a break. I would leave him. I would say, I'm leaving you. I'm going to live with my mom, or I'm leaving you. I'm out of here. We're done. And then he'll promise, baby, no, please, baby, no, please, baby, no, please. But she's not really done yet. She hasn't really formed her exit plan. She just put the threat out there to get him to cooperate. If you've been in that situation and she's already told you several times we're done, but you got back together and you fixed it, and then you went right back to doing the things that you know piss her off, that she's still complaining, why don't you ever? Why can't you? Why can't you be more like? There's gonna come a time when she's gonna be done. And like I said, it's gonna be long before it's actually over. So what do? The problem with that is, like I said, if you start to notice those signs, let's say you listen to what I'm saying and you're in that situation, you're like, yeah, last night she did say, why don't you ever, or why can't you? Why don't you kiss me anymore? Why do you rather play video games than have sex with me? It's a common one. Why are you always going out with your friends? Why you don't want to spend any time with me? We haven't gone out on a date in 3 months. If you're in that situation, you're hearing that, you got to be careful. You got to be careful, especially, this really applies to an imbalanced relationship. If you're in a friendship, okay, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's talk about marriage. You got to be careful because you can overcompensate. Give her what she wants, but don't overcompensate. Because you don't want to smother her. Because then she's going to feel trapped. Women love, for the most part, and again, there are exceptions to every rule, but women love to chase. People want what they can't have. You have to give them just enough. I spoke in an earlier episode, I believe it was a supplemental episode, where I said if you have $20 and that person wants that 20, you don't give them the 20. You give them $1 at a time to keep them coming back for more. You don't want to give them everything. You want to give them enough to keep the fire alive. Because the fire, and you think, well, that's mean. I mean, she wants everything. I'm going to give her everything. No, she doesn't really want everything. She wants to work for it a little bit. He wants to work for it a little bit. People want what they can't have. They love a challenge. You need to give them a little bit of a challenge. It's a balancing act, and you've got to be good at it. You've got to give them just enough to make them happy, but leave them wanting more. It's like they say, like I've said before, they say in show business, always leave them wanting more. Now, let's say you're in an imbalanced relationship, all right, and you care about somebody, you're in love with somebody, you're interested in somebody, and that person's not quite interested in you, or it's a brand new relationship and you're interested, and that person's not seeing you, not necessarily friend zone you, they're showing interest, but they're not really sure which direction they want to go yet, they're not sure if you're the one. What she's basically, or he's basically telling you at that point is, I want to keep my options open for now. Now, your first instinct is to hold on tighter. Oh, I can't let that person see what's out there. I can't let that person explore their options, because what if somebody cuter comes along? What if somebody smarter comes along? What if somebody prettier comes along? What if somebody richer comes along? What if that person that they're talking to other than you is better than you? Our first instinct is to hold on tighter, to make sure we get maximum amount of face time with that person so that that person doesn't forget, because we're afraid. It's all fear. It's the fear of loss. And we're afraid. We're afraid that that person's going to take a look around and start talking to other people, and their head's going to be turned. and you're going to lose. So you panic. You go into panic mode and you hold on tighter. I touched on destiny. And I said to you guys, some people believe in destiny. Some people believe in fate. And if you do, if you are one of those people, then it doesn't matter what you do. If it's meant to be, it's going to be. There's an old adage that has been around for a long time. I don't even know who coined the phrase. Somebody smarter than I can comment and tell me who coined the phrase. If you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours to begin with. If you're in that new relationship or that friend zone, or you're trying to win someone's heart, you got to know when to just let go. You know, if that person's telling you, you're smothering me, you're making it too hard, I can't breathe, I don't even know how I feel about you because you're so far up my ass I can't even think. When that person tells you something like that, take the hint. Back away. Do a 180, man. Back away. Because the tighter you hold on, the more you're going to lose. For my Star Wars fans, remember what Princess Leia said to Governor Tarkin? The more you tighten your grip, the more systems slip through your fingers. It's truth. Now, there's a song, and for right now, and I'm going to be flamed for this, but I don't remember the artist. I want to say Don Henley, but I'm not sure. If somebody can comment the name of the artist, I'll probably Google it after we get off here and feel really stupid. That artist said in a song, hold on loosely but don't let go. If you cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. Pulling up my phone to look it up. You have to be willing to walk away. And sometimes that can be to your advantage. See, especially if you're new in the relationship and you've been giving them your heart, you've been telling them, you've been honest with them. You thought, honesty's the best policy. I'm just going to tell this person how I feel. No games. No BS. No BS. You can't give somebody everything they want. You have to leave them wanting more. People like to chase. People like to pursue. They like the challenge. And if you're not a challenge, especially if you're a guy, you're the feminine. You're not the masculine anymore. And she doesn't respect you. You need to be willing to walk away, and she needs to know you're willing to walk away, and you need to mean it. This cannot be a game. You can't fake this, because she's going to see right through it. You need to be willing to go, you know what, this isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, if ever, and I'm walking away. Because one of two things are going to happen, and it's reality. You're going to have to understand and process this fact. If you walk away from the table, that person is either going to say, whoa, 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 I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. Hold on a little longer. I'm getting there. I care about you, but I just don't know what I want right now. Or they're going to go, okay, see ya. You've got to be willing to lose. You've got to be willing to risk it all. Love is a risk. It's a risk up until the day you die. It's a risk. you got to be willing to risk it. Because there's nothing you could do about it. If he or she's going to find someone else, they're just gonna. There's nothing you could do to stop that. No amount of being in their face, no amount of holding on tightly, no amount of promises, no amount of love, no amount of affection. It doesn't matter what you do. If that person is not interested in you and interested in someone else, he or she could be talking to 10 other people. Chumming the waters, as it were. Putting it out there, seeing what's out there. If you believe in fate, if it's meant to be, it's going to be. If you don't believe in fate, then you have to understand there is nothing you can do. Now, circling back, if you're in a relationship and you've ended it and you have contact with your ex because either you own a house together and the house needs to be sold and you need to be in contact with that person, or you're dividing up the assets and you can't break away from that person because of this or that, or you work with that person. That's another possibility. You still work together. You work for the same company. You met on the job. You still have to interact with that person. It's going to be hard for you to process that loss. Or you have kids with that person, and now that person wants to either be super dad or wants to see you and wants to have you in the kids' lives and know, I'm throwing you out, buddy, but you're gonna spend time with your kids. Like I said, you need to take time to process and heal. I'm probably gonna butcher her name, but there's a song called "New Rules" by Dua Lipa. I'm gonna read it to you, because it is very, very appropriate and apropos. She is on point. She says it exactly the way it needs to be said, and it's truth. Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy, out of my mind, out of my mind. Wrote it down, read it out, hoping it would save me too many times. That's the frustration that she had, that she's walking away. My love, he makes me feel like nobody else. Nobody else. But my love, he doesn't love me, so I tell myself, one, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. I mean, he may not drink, but he's only calling because he wants to fix it. He wants you back. He wants to still be with you somehow, some way. He's desperate. Two, don't let him in. You'll have to kick him out again. 3, don't be his friend. You know you're going to wake up in his bed in the morning. And if you're under him, you ain't getting over him. She goes on to say, I keep pushing forward, but he keeps pulling me backwards. Nowhere to turn. No way, nowhere to turn, no. Now I'm standing back from it. I finally see the pattern. I never learn. But my love, he doesn't love me. So I tell myself, I do. 1, don't pick up the phone. You know he's only calling because he's drunk and alone. 2, don't let him in. You'll have to kick him out again. 3, don't be his friend. You know you're going to wake up in his bed in the morning. And if you're under him, you ain't getting over him. It can't work. You need time to heal, to process. Now, you would think that it's familiar. I've been with this person for years. He knows my body, I know his. It's just sex. It means nothing. I got needs. It's better to sleep with him than go out and meet somebody new and do something new, because doing somebody new, especially if you're a woman, that can make me a slut. I mean, people are going to think I'm sleeping around. I could get a disease. I could get pregnant. I know, I've been with him for years. I haven't gotten pregnant. I haven't gotten a disease. It's familiar. It's safe. I mean, it's true. Physically, emotionally, no. One of you is going to feel something. You've been together too long. It's too new. It's just ended. It's going to be bad at the end of the day. For if no other reason, then you're not going to be able to move on. If you're under him, you ain't getting over him. Now, that's not to say, and again, there are exceptions to every rule. I'm making a general blanket statement. You may be that person that can handle it. He may be that person. She may be that person. You may be able to handle it. You may be able to process the loss of the relationship and have your cake and eat it too. But the odds are against. The odds are against it. You need to go through the 5 stages of grief. And you need to reach acceptance. And then after you reach acceptance, if you're finally processed it and it's been a month or two and you really have gotten over this, you've moved on emotionally. You feel nothing for that person anymore. You know the marriage is over, the relationship is over, and you're good. And if you want to do the friends with benefits thing, God love you. Although you are, again, running the risk of rekindling old feelings, and then you're right back where you were before. So if you're in that situation where you've gone down this road with this person, you've had so many fights, and you just are done, and you think you're done enough to where, I'm done. Hey, look, I've gotten back together with this person and broke up with this person 20 times in the last 5 years. Believe me, I'm done this time. Like, I'm walking away. There ain't no way in hell we're ever getting back together, no matter what. You've gotten back together before. You've had major fights. You even may have said on several occasions, I'm done. This is over. Pack your shit and get out of my house. And then you get back together again. If you're under him, you ain't getting over him. It's as simple as that. And you're running the risk of trying one more time. And you'll justify it. We're just going to give it one more try. We have to. We're married. We have children. We have to. Talk to me in 6 months. When he's right back to doing the same things he did before. When she's right back to doing the same things she did before. Oil and water don't mix. You could shake up the bottle till you just keep shaking it till it looks like it's just a mass of goo and it's all blended together. Set that bottle down for 10 minutes. Oil and water will separate again. So if your goal is to start over and try again, good luck with that. I hope it works for you. Talk to me in 6 months. I've seen it. I've done it. I got married twice. I divorced my first wife. 4 or 5 years later, we start talking again. Just talking. And we got remarried, and it was wonderful. Boy, man, for 6, 8 months, a year, it was great. We were back together. We were playing house. Kids were happy. But then the kids weren't happy anymore. Because they knew mommy and daddy were starting to have the same old fights again. So I'm not talking out of my ass. I've done it. When it's over, process the loss and move on. Move on, because you can't save it. You just can't. It's over. I'm Stephen Bastian. I hope I helped with this. If you have any questions, hit my direct message. I'll be glad to answer them. If you have any comments, if you see this in post, I haven't had any viewers on this show, but this episode, but it's early. If you watch it in post and you want to comment, please comment. There's nothing wrong with commenting after the fact. I will actually type back to you and answer your comments as we go if you want. Or like I said, you could direct message me. I'm going to try to do an episode tomorrow. I've got a really busy schedule. Tomorrow, I'm thinking I'm going to do a show on friendship. and it's going to be titled Friends, Friends, Best Friends, and More. Or Friends and Best Friends in the Friend Zone. I don't know. Whatever. I'll come up with something. You know me. Anyway, be good to each other. I'll see you next time.